Welcome back to another episode of Extra Bases with Bristol and Booth. Jason Bristol in the Houston area, Jeremy Booth in, where are you? Is that like a guest room?
I'm still, it's kind of a makeshift office for right now. But I am coming back soon. We have a departure date. We have some timelines that fit now, and I'm excited to get back to Texas.
Everyone here talking about the punishment or lack of punishment for the Boston Red Sox. We saw this coming, though. We knew that it wasn't going to be as severe when compared to the Astros.
They didn't do anything.
Well, that's not true. They did some things, just they didn't do them. The Astros were at another level.
So when you take the Astros as like the bar of what not to do and like check every box in that whole checklist of things not to do to get it done correctly, the Red Sox, all they did, Jason, and man, guys, it feels so weird to say all they did because they still did something, but they didn't do anything near what the Astros got. So if many people feel the Astros punishment was light, and they do, and I am one of those people who feel the Astros got off light, then the Red Sox getting what they got is minimal. I mean, that's what it is. It's minimal. What I have a problem with is I have a problem throwing that one guy under the bus. I really feel like they singled out the one person. It's an organizational issue if that's what happens. And I have some friends with the Red Sox. We have our signature event at Fenway Park, and I thought that the accountability of the organization as a whole has taken was pretty good. Sam Kane did a great job, and the people in their organization who have spoken about it, whether it's behind closed doors or publicly, have done a good job with it. I'm surprised Alex Cora didn't get more out of that. I mean, I think that linking him in anything with what he did in 17, turns around and wins another World Series in 18, and that, oh, by the way, that club is found to have been cheating to some capacity, broken the rules, let's say, with sign stealing. I don't know how he's not immediately complicit in it. Now, if the investigation says, hey, you know what, he didn't do anything, then okay. But for me, the common denominator between the two clubs were using technology to steal signs the same general way was Alex Cora. And so for me, that's a problem.
But here's where the big difference is that I saw, and I had a feeling that this is what was going to be a major separator between the Astros and the Red Sox, was this idea that the Red Sox did what they were supposed to do in terms of making sure that Major League Baseball's memorandums were being passed through the chain, and that the higher ups were making sure that the people on the lower rungs of the food chain were complicit, were doing the things they were supposed to be doing per Major League Baseball's guidelines. As we all know, Major League Baseball investigation into the Astros revealed that, according to MLB, Jeff Luhnow never forwarded any types of restrictions or rules or regulations to the people below him, while, based on what we're reading from the Red Sox investigation, that indeed the Red Sox higher-ups did do that. And I think that's a major reason why the Red Sox were not hammered.
If the commissioner says don't do something and you turn around and do it in 24 hours, you're going to get severity dealt with, right? It's already handed onto you. If you are Dave Dombrowski, whose character has never been challenged when it comes to this, and won a World Series in 18 as a GM, and 19, by the way, was Mike Rizzo. There's a similarity between Dombrowski and Rizzo. And Luhnow cheated in 17 to his World Series. Dombrowski forwards, Luhnow doesn't. You're looking at character differentials between the two human beings and how they ran their baseball operations department. Now, those are facts based on what they found. If Jason Bristol says to me, hey, something comes across Jason Bristol's desk and I need to see it, I'm going to see it. That's the way it works. Something comes across my desk and you need this, hey man, check this out. We're not going to be in a situation where we're putting things in each other in a questionable path, let's say. Astros didn't do that. Red Sox did. Red Sox get I don't even know if that's a slap on the wrist. Jason, what is that? Is that like a finger wagging, like don't do this again? Is that what that is? I mean, and the Astros get hit as hard as allowable, I guess, by Major League Baseball.
I also found it interesting in Major League Baseball's report about the Red Sox. It seemed as though the players really didn't have, the Boston players have a true sense of what's allowable and what's not allowable because of, I think, where the information on signs was coming from. And I think Major League Baseball is kind of, they should be a little bit at fault because they allow a guy like their replay system operator, JT Watkins for the Red Sox, to then be the guy who can deliver the information for these guys, these hitters, so that they know they advanced scouting. Let's just call it advanced scouting, right?
I like that. I think that the net result of this though is that it's all going to be different in the future. Major League Baseball has already put in different rules. Organizations are going to be more diligent with the people that they have and who's allowed. And it's sad to say this in a way, but this pandemic is going to serve as a little bit of a reset button with Major League Baseball. I really believe that. The more people I talk to acknowledge that that's a very strong possibility. The draft's going to look a lot different now and next year. International draft seems to be almost a certainty. They've pretty much agreed with minor league baseball on the contraction of 40 different teams, right?
Potentially.
And two independent clubs, St. Paul Saints. I'm a former Saint back from, I'm a former Saint from, I guess 24 years. Holy cow, it's been that long?
You're a lot of things.
22 years ago. But it's, and the Sugarland Skeeters, who have done a great job in our city, right, of what they do. So potentially going to affiliated clubs. I don't see Major League Baseball stopping there. If you're a GM and you are on the hot seat, this might be a reset button for you where you're no longer around. If you were a scout or player development, member of baseball operations and you weren't doing a good job, or if you were an analytics guy, I mean, they've been outsourcing. Have already outsourced analytics to get away from the people they have internally. Decide to outsource to different groups and pay them a different fee because of budget savings, right? You're looking at a time now when that's absolutely the way that people are going to go. You may see smaller scouting departments. You may see smaller player development. Well, you have to now with 40 less affiliates, right? Smaller development staffs, and you might see smaller analytics groups. Major League Baseball has a chance to hit the reset button on the rules if they want to do and come together in a way without having to worry about a season being played in March or April. To get this right, time 21 comes around.
I find it very interesting that you're right. This pandemic has caused a number of issues to be looked at or changed or reset in the game. The minor league thing still, I mean, I know that the Major League Baseball people will say that, yes, we're improving salaries for these players, which I think is what everybody wants. But to think that the contraction of all these clubs is a good thing, I still have a big issue with that because, I had a player contract, Dyer Miller, a former pitcher for the Orioles from late 60s, early 70s. And even then he was making $550 a month. And think how much revenue has grown in the game. And minor league salaries, what's the lowest at one point? It was what, $800-900 a month?
$850.
So has it really increased that much over a 40-year period? And this contraction is supposedly going to cure all ills, that they can actually now pay these guys? Come on. Major League Baseball wants a piece. They see these independent operators of these teams making tons of money off the backs of their players, and they want a piece of the action. Not just a piece. They want basically the whole pie.
They want the whole pie. MLB has done a lot of things recently that have been about revenue first. I saw an article the other day, or a tweet rather, Luno was supposed to be gone from the game. He's not gone from the game. This is the Luno plan, right? Mm-hmm. This is the contraction plan, and it's not good for baseball. For me, you're doing a lot of things by this. Yeah, you're increasing your bottom, you're helping your bottom line, increasing your revenue, and I get that. But their amateur efforts, even stuff that we're doing that isn't affiliated with Major League Baseball, is a lot about growing the games. It's about growing the game, getting kids to play, getting people to understand it. And MLB has a program they're running in schools called Fun at Bat, right? Just pick up a bat and ball, let's go play. They have their play ball initiative, same thing. No rules, just play baseball. But you have a situation with this pandemic where spring sport athletes of this year, right, what matter what it is, lost a season. The NCAA has decided to give that season back to those athletes. There's a bottleneck now in college and now a bottleneck in professional baseball, some of which is going to be cleared out by, those affiliates when they don't play, when they're gone. But there's limited spots. You now change the amount of availability to move on and make this a career. If you've done that, you're going to change how it's going to get passed down, whether it's as a sportscaster, whether it's as a coach or a scout, whether it's as a fan and how he or she relays the game to their children. It changes opportunities to see baseball. And the best people, the people that benefited the most from this move were basketball, football, hockey, lacrosse, and soccer, because all these other kids are going to go play something else. So for the efforts that Major League Baseball has made to grow the game, financially, while I understand it, it seems to fly right in the face of those efforts and what they say about growing the game, get as many people to play as possible if you take away opportunities. And that's what they've done. They've taken away opportunities for people to enjoy ball.
And you, of course, are about creating opportunities, not just for amateur players and professional prospects, but you're also, and I don't know, was this born on Twitter? Was this born on Twitter? Holding a scout school. So can you give us a little info about what scout school, because I know Major League Baseball has had a scout school in the past, correct?
They have.
What is your vision of it, and how is it going to manifest itself?
MLB had scout school for a couple of decades. Ironically, the guy that's our scouting director now, Rick Oliver, scout school for MLB. So, I didn't go to scout school. A lot of guys or organizations hired directly didn't go to scout school, but many, many, many people did. And it was kind of a path where you could get sponsored by clubs, where you paid your own way, and MLB Scouting Bureau would refer you or stamp you or certify you. You completed it, and then organizations would have a list of that. And it was a pathway in. It was an entry point. I'm a person who believes in this game. If you'll allow me 4 seconds to get on a soapbox. I'm a person who in this game believes we've kind of lost our way a little bit in our terminology and our communication and our understanding and our evaluation of players. I don't think that in an age of information sharing, which is really what Twitter is and what Facebook, we're sharing everything, right? That we should not make that available to people who want to be part of baseball. Even someone who just wants to be a dad to his son or his daughter, even somebody who wants to be a travel baseball coach or a little league coach, should probably have an understanding of what they're doing and how to advance players and recognize athletes and be able to move people around differently, because there's no two players that are the same. For a while now, probably 2 years, I've been asked about doing a scout school. And I've been so focused on the initiatives of P15 and New Balance baseball that I haven't thought about doing a scout school. We weren't ready. Well, guess what? In this pandemic, a little bit of downtime. We're obviously getting ready to go again here for us because we look like we're pretty much all clear, but it's a little bit of downtime. And I've already got it. We already have a manual that we use. Our advisory board has seen it. It's a scouting and player development manual. It's involved with analytics and technology and the things that are more modern about the game today. And but it doesn't change the subjective evals of pitchers. It doesn't change roles. It doesn't change what we have. Just so we look at it value different, doesn't change what you need. And there's been a lot of interest to do it. So I said, you know what? I got to ask, hey, would you consider doing this? So I threw it out on Twitter, and it got like 500 and something plus likes. It got seen by over 200,000 people. Because I looked at the analytics. It was a joke how many people did that. My direct DMs blew up, emails blew up, our info blew up, and it was like, all right, we'll put this together. I've got somebody I'm working with on this. Who I can't release the name of the platform because I think he wants to keep that private till next week. But we're there, man. We're already there because I had the stuff already done. So I've basically given him the material. He's sent it back to me to approve it. We've uploaded several courses, and it's going to be available to the public sometime next week.
So anybody can do it?
Yeah, we're going to vet people a little bit. Meaning, you have to apply and sign up. And, I don't want people who are going to misuse it or be disruptive to the course. There's going to be an online content with the Zoom at some point. There'll be report writing. There'll be videos of players who have been drafted or participated in our events. What different levels? Why is this guy a prospect? Why is he not? We have some very exciting events for people to attend. Underclass, obviously, International Week. Our national tournaments. So we have some things people can do to come out and see players and evaluate them and write reports on. So there's a chapter by chapter course here that you have to go. There's quizzes and tests, and as long as you're somebody who wants to really get better at it and you're not using it for the wrong reasons, we'll let you in.
Do you have a price point yet?
So I've thrown out a couple different price points to people, and one person, each time two people said, that's it. And I just, I'm just trying to do something that makes sense to me. What makes sense to me, and maybe we don't value the knowledge and experience enough in ourselves. Maybe that's the baseball side. If you've been humbled in this game, it's hard to talk money sometimes with this stuff, because even though everything has a cost to it, we all have to live and we all have to eat. This is knowledge I'm passing on.
Plus you have to make it worth your while too.
Sure. But when you're in baseball, it beats you up so bad that if you've been beaten up before, no matter how much you succeeded at it, talking money ain't the most comfortable part about it. Right. So I think we're getting there. I think we're getting there to a model that works. I'm not 100% sure. I do know this. It'll be affordable for people to be able to pick up, take the quizzes, take the course, drop it if they need to, get back onto it later. It'll be something that people can handle.
I already have one of the quiz questions in my head right now.
What do you got?
One of the quiz questions should be, name the player that Jeremy missed on, the one that he completely missed on.
I'm never gonna live that. Ray Montgomery told me one time he's a bear. He's that one player. Do you have the answer, Jason? Do you know the answer?
Of course, Texas State first baseman.
Paul Goldschmidt.
Drafted by the Dodgers out of high school, the Woodlands.
Yeah, he sure was. And then, I think it was the Angels actually. It was the Angels.
Hold on. Yeah, Paul Goldschmidt. Drafted by the LA Dodgers in the 49th round of the 2006 MLB draft.
Awesome.
And he goes to the 8th round out of Texas State.
And Paul Goldschmidt will forever be a lesson, because Paul Goldschmidt has had the best career out of that draft besides Steven Strasburg and Mike Trout in the 2009 draft. If there is, and those guys, Strasburg went 1 and Trout went 24, and then Goldschmidt goes all the way to the 8th round, right? He has a career. Also in that draft, Brandon Belt, some other guys throughout that have had careers. Brandon Belt comes to mind because he was in the area. So, it's an interesting story, and it's one that I learned from. That's how these guys are going to be able to learn, is not just from the successes, but also the failures.
All right, Jeremy. Thanks for checking in with us.
Yeah, man. I can't wait to get back. And this is pretty socially distant, just without being,
it is
2,000 miles or 6 feet apart, whichever one comes first. So,
all right. Thanks, Jeremy. And we'll talk to everybody later on Extra Bases with Bristol and Booth.